Hi, I'm Robbie Susan Chandler from Robbie Susan Cards and Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I live in Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. Today I would love to share this cute Get Well card made with the Lazy Days stamp set and the Gone Fishing dies. I bet you're thinking that's an interesting combination, and it kinda is, but let's get into the card and you'll see. Okay, the inside of my card I just have Feel Better Soon, and I'll show you that die in a second. But let's start by looking at the pieces. Alright, our card base is made from basic black, and it's 4 by 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2 right in the middle. And you just fold this in half. And this is your card base. The next layer is a white piece, and I have 2 of these. They're 4 by 5 1/4, and one is for the inside, and then one's to build our front with. And our next piece would be a piece of basic black, and it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now what we use this piece for is, this is where the Gone Fishing die comes in. The Gone Fishing die looks like this, and we cut this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece with that Gone Fishing die to get this piece. Now I'm going to show you how that piece is used in the Gone Fishing set. This is a card I made. It's now a birthday card, but we also did it for Father's Day. And here's the die inside, this one right here, that's used in the tackle box. And I have a video on how to make this card. Just look for the Gone Fishing card die under my videos. So we've got this piece cut, and I didn't want these notches here, so I just trimmed them off. Just took my paper snips and just trimmed all of those off. Now I have just a nice even frame around the edges. Okay, so that leaves us with this piece. Alright, so that's our Gone Fishing piece. And the stamp set I used is this one, Lazy Days. And we're going to use just about all of these: the rocking chair, the hanging planner, the sitting planner, the bird, and the porch floor. Okay, so let's start with our background. Alright, I have already adhered my basic white piece to my card base, and I stamped. One thing you need to do is put this piece down and figure out where the inside of your frame is, because you don't want to sponge and stamp outside of your frame. So I laid this piece down and I made some little marks to show me where it ends. And I have already stamped the floor, which was this stamp, in gray granite. And I just did like 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 2 rows, but just 4 stamps. Now back here in this upper area, I wanted to have a sky effect, so I used Pool Party, and I just sponged little sky up here. And this doesn't have to be really dark, but you want it dark enough you can see the sky up there. The nice thing about Pool Party, it doesn't seem to want to splotch when you start right on the cardstock like some of the darker colors do, which is nice because you're going to be sponging right here in the middle, and you can't bring it on the edge like we do with the darker colors to keep it from making some extra blotchy looks. Alright, I think that's about all I want to do up here with this. Okay, so now we have our sky background. Now, some other pieces from the die set that we use is this, I call it Victorian or gingerbread trim, and we're using that across the top. And then I have this chair, porch railing that I use down at the bottom. So I adhere these 2 together to make a longer railing, and I found that it was easier if you took these pieces and adhere them behind the black frame. So I just went on and stuck those there, glued them down, And then we're going to put this piece down on the front of this. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And just put a little bit here, a little bit there. Don't want to put too much, or it'll squeeze out on places you don't really want it to. Alrighty. So that should hold that down. So let's flip that over, and we're just going to adhere that piece right here. And that just goes right in the center of your card front. Alright, and there's our porch down there under the railing. I might could have stamped a few more a little bit lower, but I think it's fine there. Alright, so let's look at some more pieces. So I stamped all of my pieces to go on the front in Early Espresso. I used Early Espresso ink. I stamped the rocking chair. I call this the sitting planner, the hanging planner, and the bluebird. Now the bluebird I colored with light balmy blue, so that's my bluebird. My rocking chair I colored with dark crumb cake. The planner, this one I colored the basket with bronze, with the bronze blend, and all my greenery on both planners was colored with the light mossy meadow. So that was this and this greenery, and my planter here was colored in with light cherry cobbler. Alright, so let's pop these on real quick. So here's our bird flying up here, right under at the edge of the porch. And then here's our hanging planner. That looks good. Now let me move it over just a touch. There's a reason I want to move it over. Of course I'd stick that down and say, oh yeah, that looks good. No, I want to move it over. You know how that goes. We like to change our mind. And the rocking chair. It goes right down here. And some of the edges of these pieces will hang over the edge of your frame, but I think that just gives it some dimension. And then our planter, it sits right down here on the floor. Alright, so in this spot I stamped Thinking of You, and this was from the Wonderful Thoughts die set, stamp set. Thinking of You is from Wonderful Thoughts. I stamped it in Memento Black, and I sponged a little bit of the Pool Party ink on it just to have it blend in with the other background. And I popped it up right here on this section. And then I thought, well, it looks a little bare, so let's just add some of this greenery. And this die is also from the Lazy Day dies. So I just wanted to add this piece coming right down from the top. And then I added another piece. Get some glue on. Whoops, a little much there. Let's kind of spread that out. I added this piece right along this railing, or this frame. Okay, and I think that really added a little more depth and warmth to it. Now I haven't talked about the inside yet, although I have put this in here to show you, and I also stamped this stamp right here. It's a little gingerbread design inside this card. I felt like it needed a little bit more. But this die is from the set Wanted to Say. And in it you have Happy Birthday, Feel Better Soon, You're Too Kind, and Celebrate. This is what the Happy Birthday looks like. And see, you can cut a background piece and then put the letters in front. The one we're using So these two dies, these are the actual letters and this is the background. So it looks like this. Here's the Feel Better Soon, and here's the background that you adhere it to, just like that. I really love these. I think these are great. They make a great inside and for the front too. So I just adhere that there. So there's the inside, and here's the front, and here's our completed card. And I hope you like this card well enough to try to make one yourself. I have provided a link below to my blog and also to a free tutorial you can download to get all the instructions. So thank you for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And please like my video. And if you need a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. So until next time, happy crafting.